Hi everyone and welcome back to Sealand Plays Horror Cartridge Collection. The one I'll be playing today will be Resolve Your Fate. Eternal Storage, that one just terrifies me. So I don't know if I'm ever gonna play Eternal Storage. Anyway, there's 9 endings. Anyway, this one doesn't look too scary. A mysterious book has been left at the door, but beware the power that's held inside. Can you overcome the curse and free yourself, or will you succumb and meet your fate? Okay, why is this dark too? Can I turn the lights on? There we go. That's better. No point leaving. Where's this book I speak of? Do I play a waiting game or something? Maybe I light all the candles first.
Nope.
Okay, so we're supposed to tie this chair up? I'm so confused. Whoa! We cannot do that. Get off the chair. That got dark way too quickly. What the hell? No one knows I'm out here. Better check who it is.
Are you sure about that?
Oh, there's the book. Thank you. I'm not comfortable with the door open, just so you know. A terrible fate you wish to escape. The knowledge stored within these pages will bestow riches, fame, and glory to all those who read her. But before the gift, can you be given a challenge you must accept? Prove your determination. Resolve your fate. A sacrifice must be made to begin. Relinquish your blood and mark this page.
What?
With the spilling of blood, the deal is made. Your fate awaits. The challenge before you is save those who were taken before it is too late. Triumph for your freedom, or succumb to your fate, and become one of us. Do you accept? Sure, I guess. I don't want to. You awake cold and afraid. Time has been unkind as flesh clings to your bones. You struggle to your feet and remember where you are. Deep within a misty forest where the trees laugh at your mere form. They know why you have come to this forbidden place. Nearby the wheel tracks embedded in the dirt to give you a path to follow. Look around to follow the tracks or shout at the trees. I would look around first just to be cautious. You look around, but trees block your view. Down at your feet, a small pile of ash now sits where you had lit a fire in an attempt to keep yourself warm. The cold was bitter, and the flames refused to relinquish their warmth, but at least the light gave you a feeling of safety. Next to the pile of ash are remnants from the bag of food you scavenged from the ruins of the village. No more food. The parts of charred note you also found in one of the destroyed huts of the villages next to the fire. Read the notes, follow the tracks, or shout at the trees again. Read the note, I guess? You pick up the note and look at it. The top of the paper is charred and was written with desperation. You're lucky you were able to find it in the ruins of the village you once called home. Figures in white robes from the forest have come for us. We cannot stop them. They will find me soon. If you find this note, then follow the tracks into the forest and save us before it is too late. Taran Ishka. I think that's how you pronounce the name. It has been 8 days since you found the note. Follow the tracks, that's the only option. I don't like the mumbling in the background. But anyway, you follow the path as the sky draws darker and the tree branches grow thicker. Around you, the trees watch in anticipation. They hunger for what little flesh you have. Suddenly, you hear a whisper coming from close by. You look around and see a faint wisp of light coming from the trees to your right. I'm just gonna follow the track. You ignore the whispers and continue to walk alongside the wheel tracks. The whispers grow faint and soon stop. Thank God, because I was getting uncomfortable. Anyway, keep walking. The air grows foul as you venture deeper. The trees have stopped laughing. They look on as you continue deeper into the forest. Ahead you see the dirt tracks turn into an opening in the trees. You arrive at the end of the tracks. A large open area stands before you. Looking up, you can see a bright blue sky, but it brings you no hope. Nearby, a wooden cart rests next to a dead horse on the ground. At the end of the clearing is the entrance to a cave that radiates despair. You need to save them. Go to the opening, I guess? Anyway, you walk slowly towards the cave as every muscle in your body screams at you to run. At the entrance, you see stairs descending into the depths of the earth. The light from the outside is quickly extinguished, and dark fire from the torches try in vain to illuminate the stairs. You do not know how far down they go. Let's woman up and go down the stairs? You struggle to step forward, but as your foot makes contact with the smooth stone step, despair envelopes your leg. With each step, the numbness grows stronger and climbs up your body. You're unsure how many steps you have taken, but looking back, you can no longer see the light from the outside world. The cave has taken a hold of you. You fear that it will never loosen its grip. Our only option is to go down the stairs. Oh boy. With each step, a foul odor takes hold. You cannot escape it, but you quickly adjust. You have no idea what's causing the smell, and you do not wish to find out. A faint glow becomes brighter and brighter as the end of the stairs grow closer and closer. You pause for a moment and listen. The songs of the birds and the whooshing of the wind are gone, replaced with a drowning hum, echoing off the solid rock that entombs you with. That and nothing more. You reach its final steps. Our only option is to look around. You look around and no one is here. The stairs open up to a small room. You're not sure how much of this is natural and how much has been dug out. A little torch attached to a nearby wall illuminates the surroundings. Crude shelves rest against the wall. One of them holds a bag, which appears to be dripping a red substance. That does not sound good. Nearby, a pathway into darkness calls to you. Take the torch, look down the pathway, or look at the shelves. Take the torch, obviously, so we have light. You attempt to remove the torch from its perch, but are unable to move it. The torch seems to be fixed in place with a black substance that's hard to the touch. Okay, I guess look around. Look at the shelves, I guess. You walk to the shelves and inspect them. Torn and bloody clothes of broken tools and jewelry are scattered across the shelves. These are the possessions of those who were taken or stripped away from them as they were dragged through this area. The bag you saw is soaked in a thick red substance that bleeds from it. Look around, touch the liquid, or open the bag. I don't like any of those options, now that I think about it. Well, look around seems like a safer option, so we'll look down the pathway then. The pathway is long and turns to the right at the end. On the left, you see a closed door. The area is poorly lit, but you are still able to see. Along one of the walls, and space has been carved out, and what appears to be a collection of human skulls have carefully placed. You try not to think about where the skulls came from. Keep walking down the pathway, I guess, I don't know. You move quietly down the path. The walls are rough stone, but the floor has a layer of compacted dirt that muffles your footsteps well. To the left is a wooden door covered by cobwebs. In the front, the path keeps going and turns to the right into the unknown. Go to the door on the left, I guess? You walk to the door and look at it. The wood looks old and brittle. The handle is rusted and cobwebs have formed all around it. Gross. It seems no one has opened this door in a long time. Let's press our ear to the door. Gotta be cautious first. You press your ear against the door. It whispers to you. I hold their water, but they refuse to drink it. Why have they forsaken me? The door continues to mumble about the damage it has sustained. Let's open the door. You push against the door as it gently creaks open. Beyond the door is a large circular room. In the middle is what appears to be a well. You glance around and see that no one is in this room. Enter or leave. Enter the room. It's already open. We might as well walk in. No! Anyway, you walk into the room and close the door behind you. The air is stale and you can see dust floating around her. The room is large and circular. The walls are barren but curved upwards to the ceiling, forming a dome. In the middle sits a well. It's composed of layers of rocks and has a wooden frame that a bucket is attached to. While the top of the frame posts are broken, the wood looks like it has not been rotten. The bucket is old and has some rust, but the rope seems strong and firmly attached to both the frame and bucket. Look into the well, take the rope and bucket, or leave the room. Look into the well. That looks realistic. Anyway, you look into the well. The well looks into you. The hairs on your right arm stand to attention. You can see the faint glimmer of water at the bottom of the well, where there does not seem to be much left. Well, I saw a human eyeball flickering on the screen. I don't think I wanna jump in the well or climb it. Let's look around. Take the rope and bucket, I guess. You pull at the rope to try to pry it free from the post, but are unable to. A thick black substance coats the rope. It is rock hard to the touch and refuses to relinquish its grip on the rope. The bucket is old, but it looks strong. It would take too much effort to break it apart to release the rope, which also has been affixed to the bucket with the black substance. Seriously? I guess we're jumping in the well. You'll look into the well and think about jumping into it, feet first. This is so bad. You dangle your feet over the edge and slide into the well. A rushing sensation travels over your body as you move faster down. You land at the bottom of the well and stand there, unsure of the feeling in your legs. You look down and see bones sticking out of your legs and torso. That is so graphic. Meet your fate. The water turns red as your blood fuses into it, and we lost a heart. You lay in the well, slowly evaporating, unsure when another will find you. The sensation of evaporation is agony to your soul. Everything goes dark and you die. Congratulations! You blink and suddenly the world has changed around you. You're standing next to a well. Hey, we're back here! Leave the room. You turn and open the door. A quick glance reassures you that the path is still clear. You leave the room and close the door. To your right is the way back to the stairs and freedom. To your left is the path leading further into the cave where the path turns out of sight. Well, we're going to the right! It's our chance to get out of here. You turn and make your way back to the small area you came from. I mean, hey, we can try to look at the skulls, I guess. Okay, no. That scare wasn't even that scary, but I got scared by the pop-up. I didn't even read what was on that page, but anyway, ignore the door and keep going. You move past the door and come to the corner in the pathway. Peek around the corner? Oh, hell no, that's not a good suggestion. Anyway, you peek around the corner and tense up as you see one of the cultists facing away from you. They are praying to a statue while mumbling. You cannot make out their words, but you know they cannot be anything that you wish to hear. The area is large, but you cannot see anyone else. Charge at them or sneak up on them. Sneaking up is a better option, to be honest. Oh! You walk softly towards the cultists. As you do, their words become whole. Your mind wrists in agony as it cannot comprehend the spoken tongue of the cultists. You stop moving and steadily yourself. The pain quickly dissipates. They have not noticed you and continue to mumble while praying to the statue. You knock out the cultist. You move closer and with a single swift blow to the back of the head, you knock the cultist unconscious. They fall to the ground with a thump. You feel the weight pressing against your head lift as the cultist stops speaking. Look at the cultist or look around. Well, there's not much to look around at, so I guess we'll look at the cultist. You look at the cultists on the ground. They are wearing bright white robe with intricate gold trims weaved into them. Looking closely, you notice the lack of any dim or grim on the robes. Their faces covered by the rose hood. In the cultist's right hand is a small dagger. The blade curves back and forth along its length. Take the dagger. We need to defend ourselves. You carefully pick up the dagger, making sure not to cut yourself with it. It quivers in anticipation. It knows what you will do with it. Some sort of text is engraved into the blade. Read the text. Ooh. Your mind wrists in agony as it cannot comprehend the text carved into the dagger. You place the dagger into a loop on your belt. Take the robe, I guess. You struggle to move the cultists as you pull the outer robes off them. As you do so, you study their body closer to see that many runes have been carved into their flesh. Looking at the runes caused great pain, but you managed to remove the robes without looking at them too much. After a short time, you now hold the robes. The inside of them were also cleaned, but you now see some runes have been stitched into the inside of the robes. put the robe on, I guess. You lower the robes over your head and onto your body. The sensation is strange. With some struggle, you find and pull your arms through the holes. Once the robes are fully onto you, try to take a step forward, but immediately feel them tighten around you. Before you have a chance to remove them, you find yourself on the ground, unable to move. Your heart starts pounding as the cultist awakens and looks at you. You try to turn your head, but the robes do not release their hold of you. The best you could do is turn your eyes towards the cultists looming over you. Their face contorts into the twisted smile as they stand up and grab your legs. Your face is scraped against the floor as you are dragged away. More cultists appear around you, and momentarily your relief is granted when the many hands of the cult grip at your still and toned body and lift you from the ground. You move your eyes back and forth as you are carried to the places unknown. The ground abruptly reforms into smooth white tiles with strange patterns engraved in red. The chanting grows louder as you are taken into a large chamber. The many hands gently place you onto an ornate chair in the center of the chamber. You see dozens of cultists donned in white robes staring back at you. The chanting stops. From among them, a figure wearing the skull of a horse steps forward holding a small dagger. The tip is glowing white hot and moves towards you. Try to escape? Well, good luck. You're tied to a chair. Ooh, that's graphic. Well, at least the sound effects anyway. You move your lips to speak, but as you draw breath into your lungs, the dagger lunges at your face. The blade is swift, and with ease it carves your face asunder. Your screams fill the room as you feel your flesh being sliced open and then closed as the white-hot blade cauterizes the wounds. The horse-faced figure moves swiftly as each wound is carved into your face. With each you feel your conscience slip away as new thoughts fill your mind. Meet your fate. We got one life left, oh no. Your soul is expelled from your body as it falls from the chair. The robes flow freely around your former body. You watch as it stands and takes place among other cultists. You are pulled along as ethereal chains still shackle you to the body that is yours to control no more. A fate worse than death itself finds you as you witness the very people you came to save be dragged away by the hands you once called yours. Their cries of joy upon seeing you come for them quickly turn to anguish and despair. Oh no. Look at the cultist's face. You pull the robes from their head and look upon their face. A cacophony of runes carved into their flesh assault your mind. You stagger and struggle to cover their face. Once you do, the pain dissipates. You look around and see no one else. The area is safe. In the middle of the room is a strange-looking statue you do not recognize. To the left is a wooden door. To the right is a large metal door held shut with a metal rod. Let's try the left door, even though that one's blocked off. You move to the door on the right. It is made of a strong metal and has reinforced frame around it. A metal rod holding it shut sits on the brackets on either side of the door. Try to remove the metal bar. You lift the metal rod up. It is much heavier than you expected, and you struggle to free it from the brackets. You struggle even more to not drop the rod as you place it against the wall next to the door. Our only choice is to open it. You pull at the door, the metal is heavy, and you struggle to open it. As the door opens, you hear cries of despair and agony coming from nearby. With the door now open, you look at the other side of it. Deep scratches and stains of blood coat the door and surrounding walls. Someone or something was desperate to get through this door. Look around. We're investigating. Anyway, a short hallway lays before you. The walls are also covered in scratch marks and dried blood. The hallway splits into two. To the right, the cries grow louder. To the left, the ever-present foul smell becomes stronger. Let's go to the right. You peek around the corner and look down a long hallway. It is dark, but at the end you can see a cultist standing against the wall. They would certainly see you if you were to go this way. You peek around the corner and search the area. Another short hallway leads to yet another large metal door, but this one has a window with metal bars, and you can hear voices coming from the other side. You move towards the door as the voices grow louder and wonder what you should do. Look through the window, I guess. You spread out against the wall and lean to look through the window. Beyond the window, you see a long hallway with two cells on each side of the room. Metal bars stretch from floor to ceiling. Near the end of the room, you see some boxes that look to be filled with half-rotten food stacked against the wall. The only people inside the room are within the cells. Let's open the door, I guess. As you open the door, the room goes quiet. Voices hush others to stop crying. The air is filled with the stench of rotten food and human waste. You enter the room and close the door behind you, then look around. You found them! The room is a long hallway with 2 large cells on each side. Inside, you see people huddled together in small groups looking at you. Those that are still able to stand do so and make their way to the bars. An older-looking man being supported by 2 others besides him calls for you to come closer. You walk to the cell where the old man is and look at him. One of his legs is missing and a blood-soaked bandage is wrapped around the stump. Looking at his face while covered in dirt, you soon recognize who he is. Taran Ishka, one of the village leaders who led you here from the notes you have found in the ruins of his home. His voice is hushed and weak. There's not much time. They will be back soon. Don't fight them. It is no use. The one wearing a horse skull has the key. Well, he beat the shit out of me a while ago, so yeah, I get it. Taraniska's face turns into desperation as he turns to look the door. Louder footsteps are heading this way. Hide or fight. We're obviously hiding. I mean, we have a weapon, but I don't know how useful that's gonna be. Anyway, people begin to cry out again as you dash towards the crates of the rotten food. The scents grow stronger as you crouch behind one of the crates. You try to keep still as you watch the door. The door opens and 2 cultists step into the room. One of them is wearing a horse skull. The cries of anguish become almost deafening as the horse skull cultist produces a rusty key from beneath their robes and inserts it into the door of the cell, holding it to Taran Ishka and the men of the village. Those inside the cell begin to beg and plead. The other cultist, seemingly indifferent to their begging, walks into the cell. Moments later, screams fill the room as they reemerge, dragging one of the prisoners. Oh no! Maybe we should have charged at the door. As the prisoner is pulled out of the cell, you try to recognize who it is, but you cannot see their face well in the dim light at this distance. All you know is that they were a young, healthy man before they were captured. The horse skull-faced cultist closes and locks the cell door, returning the key to under the robes as they turn and leave. The man continues to scream as his flesh is dragged against the ground. He begs for help as the door slams shut, and his screams turn to echoes. You get to your feet and make your way back to Taran Ishka, making sure that the cultists are not returning. You look into the cell and speak to him. They come and take one of us at random. We have not seen any of them again. That key is our only hope of escaping this place. The bars are too strong to break. Please find some way to get that key and save us. Obviously, we're gonna try to help. Taran Ishka thanks you and tells you to hurry. He coughs and the 2 men that were holding him up lower him onto the ground to rest. Let's look in the other cells. You turn around and look into the cell opposite the one holding Taran Ishka. The cell is filled with women and children huddled together in groups. Some of them plead with you to save them while the others just cry. You turn away from the cell and go to the other one far from the door. The cell holds few, but they are the elderly people of the village. They don't say much and many of them are passed out. Oh, that's depressing. You go back to the metal door and look through the window. The hallway is clear. You open the door and close it again. Echoes of the man who was taken emanate from the hallway. Looking back to the exit, you see the door untouched from where you left it. Poor guy. He's getting tortured. You move slowly and turn a corner. The path splits again. Looking around, you cannot see anyone else. To your right is a wooden door. To the left is a long pathway. The echoes are stronger here. Ahead of you, the path soon splits into 2. I don't know which way to go. I guess we go to the left. I don't know. I don't think it's a smart idea. You make your way towards the screams of the man who was taken. With each step, you feel a haze grow over you. At the end of the hallway, you come to 2 doors. Both doors are wood, but one in front of you it seems to have bloodstains all over it. I guess we go to this one. You move towards the door from which the screams emanate. With each step, you feel a haze grow over you. Press against the door. You press your ear against the door and feel a sharp pain. You pull away and press a hand to your ear. You feel the warmth as blood trickles onto your hand. Inspecting the door more closely, you see tiny spikes cover most of the door. Ooh. Many of them are covered in rust. A few are covered in dried blood. One has fresh coating of your blood. Your ear pulses in pain as it bleeds. That sounds painful. You push against the handle, but the door does not move. It appears to be locked. Looking at the door, you notice a hole to insert a key. The lock is a strange cross shape, and you wonder what kind of key would fit into it. Looking around, you decide that it would not be possible to break through the door without alerting more of the cultists. You turn around and wonder where to go now. To your right is the other door. In front is the way back. Door on the right, I guess. Oh! That was a slap. You go to the door and look at it. Oh God, hearing that is kind of disturbing. Anyway, this door is the same design as the one next to it, but this door looks cleaner apart from the small section at the bottom. It appears as if the cultists kicked this door open rather than using the handle. You wonder why they would do this. Press the ear against this one. You check the door for any traps and press your ear to it and listen. The wood feels smooth against your skin. Come on, let's sit and watch the entertainment, but don't be disheartened. You'll be the entertainment soon enough. The door continues to exclaim about the entertainment. I guess open the door? You grab the handle. The metal is cold but smooth and free of rust. You press the door open and peek around it. The area is dark and turns a corner, but you cannot see anyone. The sounds of screaming become louder and clearer. You walk into the room and close the door behind you. You feel the floor abruptly shift from the compacted dirt to stone brick. Ahead, the room turns and you cannot see what is inside it. You listen but only hear the screams of the man that was taken. You quietly creep up to the corner and look around. The room is empty apart from two chairs sat facing away from you. The outline of a head is poking over one of the chairs facing away from you. You follow the head's gaze and see the chairs are facing a hole in the wall that is covered by metal bars on the other side. You see the man who was taken chained to the wall. This room is for watching those who were taken. You creep closer to the window and look through it. On the other side, you see the man who was taken has his arms chained to one of the walls. He screams as the skull-faced cultist beats him with a metal rod. You cannot do anything to help them. That is disturbing. You move slowly and stick to the wall as you move closer to the chair. The person in the chair does not move. As you reach the front of the chair, another scream rings out from beyond the metal bars. The person in the chair does not move. I'm guessing they're dead? You take a few more steps as the person's face comes into view. You look at their face, Trisha. You recognize them as a childhood friend. You both grew up in the village and used to play together. She's married last spring and you were happy for her. Her throat has been cut open and dried blood now covers her. You cannot bear to see her like this and start to tear up as your stomach turns against you. That is sad. You throw up the little food you had eaten as your stomach rebels against you. You turn away from what you saw and attempt to regain control over your mind. You look up at the metal bars and hear the man continue to scream. It seems the cultist did not hear you. You feel tears begin to slide down your face as you try not to think about Trisha. Leave the room. That sounds like a good option. Anyway, you quietly say sorry to Trisha as you turn around and make your way back to the door. You pull open the door and leave the room. You wipe the tears from your eyes as you wonder where to go now. To your right is the door to the torture room. To the left is the way back. Left, I guess. You walk deeper into the cave and reach another fork in the path. To the left, you see a large, ornate wooden door with symbols carved into it. To the right, the path turns a corner into the unknown. Into the unknown, I guess. I don't know. You move down the path when you reach a corner. Creeping around the edge, you look around and see a small group of the cultists talking to each other. You can't make out what they're saying, but they don't seem to be in a hurry to leave. Anyway, you walk to the door and look at it. It is a wooden door with a gold trim around it, and strange symbols have been carefully carved into the wood. Press against the door. You check the door for any traps and press your ear to it and listen. You listen as the door chants in a language you do not know. I guess we open the door. You grasp the handle and open the door. Beyond you see a small room with another statue facing towards you. In the middle there seems to be a stone table of some sort. The room is empty. Okay, I guess we'll enter the room. You walk into the room and close the door. You look around the room. It is very small, and at the wall opposite the door there is a statue that looks like the one you saw before. You are still unsure who it is, but you have a strong feeling you would not like to meet them. In the middle of the room is a stone altar that has symbols carved into the sides. The top curves inwards, forming a bowl. The entire altar is stained with dried blood, and a small pool rests in the bowl. Looking back at the statue, you notice it is holding a stone tablet with runes carved into it. Look at the tablet, I guess. Oh! You try to look at the tablet, but the runes pierce your mind and you quickly look away, unable to bear the sight of them. Alright, let's look at the altar then. You step closer to the altar and look at it. You try not to think about what might have been done to the prisoners if they were brought to this room. You look into the small pool of blood to see your own reflection. Your flesh is rough and covered in dirt. You cannot bear to look upon yourself in this state. As you were leaning over the altar, a couple droplets of blood fall from your cut. The blood lands in the altar with a small splash. You watch as a small pool of blood begins to react. You are not sure what it is happening, but for a moment you see something glisten in the blood, then dissolve. You wonder if something will happen if you add more blood to the altar and think about how you could get more blood to put into it. That sounds graphic. Use the dagger to cut your arm or bite into your own armor. I don't want to do any of these options. I guess we'll pick one. You take the dagger out and hold it against your arm. You feel the dagger leap into action as it forces itself against your skin. The pain causes you to tremble and you struggle to pull the blade free of your arm. You drop the dagger to the floor and watch as a slow stream of blood flows from a now open gash on your arm and begins to fill the bowl of the altar. You clasp your other hand around the wound as blood continues to flow. It is not very effective, but the bleeding will hopefully stop sooner. Watch the pool of blood. I would not watch it. I would pass out, man. You watch as the pool of blood begins to bubble and boil. That is so disturbing. You are not sure how this is possible, but watch as the pool of blood grows larger and smoke bursts out of it. As the blood boils away, the pool becomes smaller and suddenly you see an object begin to emerge. The object is small and has a metallic shine to it. As the last of the blood dissipates, you recognize the object as the key. You quickly snatch it from the bowl in hopes you can use it to free the prisoners. However, upon studying the key, you realize it would not fit the locks to the cells. This key has a strange yet complex design and would only fit a lock that was in the shape of the cross. We were so close. You go back to the door and open it. The path is still clear as you leave the room and close the door. You push the door open and are almost thrown to the ground by the stench of decay that hits you. You realize that the low stench ever present in this place has been all organized from the single room. Worried that the open door would draw the attention of the cultists, you enter the room and close the door. The smell is almost unbearable as tears flow from your eyes. You wipe your eyes and look around the room. It is small, but the walls are lined with long, rough stone blocks. You count 6 of them. Each stone block appears to have a lid. You chose the block second from the door on your left and walk to it. The block is at waist height and long. The rock is rough with 2 metal handles. The front of the block is lined with human skulls stacked upon each other. You grasp both handles and push the lid back. The intensity of the stench of decay somehow leaps to new heights as you stop opening the lid halfway. You look onto the box as light from a nearby torch illuminates the inside. A pair of sunken glassy eyes stare vacantly upwards. You push the lid back as far as you can and step back. Inside the box lies a man. No, a man no more. Them being inside the box used to be a man, but some unholy transfomo has produced this abomination. Emancipated cannot even begin to describe the level of ruin their body is in. Oh my god, that picture's disturbing. Anyway, you take a step closer and look upon the being. Their skin has turned to a rough leather that cracks as they breathe. Their nose is but 2 slits that are half blocked with crust. Their lips have been pulled tight and reveal a few rotten teeth. Their eyes are glassy and sunken. You wonder how this creature still lives. You do not recognize their face, but wonder if this is one of the villagers who was taken. There is nothing you can do for them. Well, unfortunately. You enter the key and turn it. A quiet thunk tells you the door is now unlocked. You open the door slowly, yet the sound of the rusty hinges squeaking is masked by screams. You look around a small, well-lit room and see many contraptions littering the space. It only takes a few moments of looking at them to realize what is this room for. This is a torture room. You look in the directions of the screams and see the man who was taken. His arms are held above his head by chains as he slumps against the wall. He has many deep cuts and bruises all over his body. Next to him is the horse skull cultist. In the dim light next to the door, they do not see you. You stay silent in the door frame as you watch the cultist turn and lean down over a fire pit in the center of the room. The flames are hot and radiate towards you with the slight warmth they give soothes your body. As you let the warmth of the flames envelop you, the cultist picks up a large steel rod that was laid into the fire pit and turns back to the man chained up. Before you can react to the sight of the white hot metal rod, the cultist presses it onto the man chained to the wall. A cacophony of sounds hits as he begins screaming. You look at his chest and watch his flesh pulls against itself, trying to flee the heat as it is served. The cultist pulls the rod out, leaving 3 burnt but still open wounds in the man's chest. The cultist then produces a small round object and inspects it. Looking closely, you can see a vivid green liquid inside the rod. What? That's disturbing. The cultist presses the orb against the man's flesh and you watch in horror as he begins to convulse. The orb glows bright, but after a few seconds it dims and the cultist pulls it close to their face, turning it slowly in their hand as the liquid slashes around the inside of the orb. There seems to be more liquid in the orb now. Turning your attention back to the chained man, you are struck to see a large patch of his flesh has started to turn gray where the orb was pressed against. The man slumps against the wall again as the cultist turns away and looks at the rack filled with other torture tools. The cultist must have the key you need on them. Look behind them, you see a wooden structure with a large open clasp in the middle of it. If you could push the cultist into it, you would be able to get the key from them. I guess charge at him. You leap to your feet and charge at the cultists. They are startled by your sudden appearance and drop one of the tools they were holding. Before they have a chance to react, you slash them with the dagger, cutting their armor. You slam into them. Keeping your momentum, you slam into them with all your might. The cultist is flung back and hits the standing wooden structure. They are momentarily stunned by this, and you close the clamp, whatever that is. You push the cultist into place and pull the clamps together. A loud clicking sound tells you that the clamp is locked. You don't know how to unlock it, but there are sure the cultists would not be able to do so from their current position. The cultist regains their senses and pulls at the clamp. It is bound tightly around their waist and refuses to let them go. The cultist stops struggling and looks at you, but says nothing. I just grab the key and run. You reach for the ropes in hopes of freeing the key as the cultist springs into life. They suddenly flare their arms attempting to grab you. You step back and look at them. You wonder why they are remaining silent. Go to the panel. We're not going to remove the skull. What if they whack us? You move towards the wooden panel fixed to the ground next to the wooden structure as the cultist's head turns to follow. You look more closely at the panel to see multiple thick ropes coming out of it. Glide along the wall and into the back of the wooden structure. At the front of the panel, you see many metal handles attached to it. All of them are in the same position. The cultist stares silently at you. Our only option is to turn one of the handles. You take grasp of the handle at random. It is cold and you feel many layers of grim shift as your fingers wrap around it. You watch as the cultists become erratic, attempting to pull themselves free of the clamp. You wonder how many times they have watched others do as they do now. You slowly twist the handle and feel it pull against you before suddenly relenting and slamming into a different position. You hear a sharp sound and listen to some liquid drops onto the floor in front of you. You tilt your head up and look at the cultists. A large metal spike is protruding out of their chest. It is covered in a mixture of blood and rust, and you watch as droplets of blood fall from it and hit the ground. The cultist is looking down at the spike and has one hand over their chest while the other dangles down and shakes. You can now hear the cultist's erratic and labored breathing. Turn another handle, I guess. You grab the handle next to the one you turned and twist it. This time your movement is more smooth and the handle clicks into their new position. You watch as another spike springs out, passing through the cultist's leg as if they were not there. Again, the cultist rattles in pain. Let's just grab the key now. We're not going to go too overboard with this. You go back to the cultist to grab the key, but they continue to push away. Even if this weakened state, they are still able to fight you off. Their desire to keep the key from you is still stronger than your desire to take it. You return to the panel and look at the handles. You grab and turn one of their handles with force and watch a spike pierce at the cultist's chest and go right through their left hand. The cultist convulses for a few seconds and tries to free their hand, but quickly relents. They let go and their right hand drops down to their side while the left is still held up by the spike. They look vaguely at you, then drop their head down. Turn all the handles. Oh God! You realize this is what they have done to countless others that subjected them to this brutal horror. Rage fills your mind as you start turning all the handles. The cultist slams their head against it at the back of the wooden structure, and the booming sound of multiple spikes bursting out drowns out their non-existent screams. As you finish turning the last of the handles, you look up and see the cultist. They are dead now. Let's check the tortured man. You go back to the man who was taken and chained up. Cuts and patches of gray cover their body. Up close, the gray patches of flesh look rotten and drained of life. You wonder what the purpose of the torture to fill those small orbs is, but you do not have time to think. You press your head against their chest and listen. After a short time, you step away from them. They are dead. Grab the key. You make your way back to the cultists. Blood pools at their feet and their head hangs limply. You lift the robes and search for the key. One of the spikes pierces a section of their belt holding the key. You grab and pull as the belt tears from the spike. You now have the key to the cells. Finally, with the key in hand, you hurry out of the room and make your way back to the cells. The path is clear, but you do not know for how long it will remain that way. You pass the large metal door and see that it's still open. At the cells, you open the door and enter. There are 4 cells, and you quickly look over each of them and see who's inside. Cell A, closest to the door, holds Taran Ishka and around 10 others, many of the strong male workers of the village. Cell B, opposite Cell A, holds women and children, many of whom look up at you with hope. Cell C is far from the door and holds the elderly of the village. The final cell is empty. You are unsure how much time you have before the cultists are alerted. Oh, this is so bad. What do Cell A? Without wasting more time, you go to Cell A and insert the key into the lock. The mechanism is rusted, but quickly gives you releases. You fling the door open as those with the most strength charge forward. You tell them what direction to go as many move past you and out of the room, not even slowly to thank you for freeing them. Their minds are consumed by the thought of once again seeing sunlight. Those lacking strength soon move past you too, with Taran Ishka now being supported by just a single man who stayed with him exits the cell. He quickly thanks you. 1 cell is now empty, but 2 more remained locked. Adrenaline surges through you as thoughts race inside your mind. How long before the cultists get here? Which cell do you open now? What if you don't have enough time? Should you escape now while you still can? Let's open another cell. We gotta rescue the women and children. Obviously, we gotta rescue everyone, but we might not have enough time. Anyway, you rush to the cell and insert the key to the lock. The mechanism is rusted, but quickly gives and releases. You pull the cell door open as many of the women grab hold of the children. You tell them which way to go and watch as they hurry out of the cell towards the exit. Many of them thank you with tears in their eyes as they rush past you. 2 cells are now empty. Your hands tremble in fear. The fleeing prisoners created so much noise that you do not know when another cultist will go check on the horse skull cultists and find them. 1 cell is left, but will the cultists turn up before everyone can escape? Let's risk it. You move to the final cell and start to turn the key, but as you do, the cultists burst into the room. You're not sure how many of them are there, but you do know that your chances of getting past them alone are none. You are almost frozen in fear as you contemplate what to do. Open the cell? Save everybody! You turn the key and swing the door open. A few of the elderly move from the cell and try to charge at the cultists, but their age betrays them as they quickly fall at the feet of the cultists. Many of the cultists leave to pursue those who escaped. Closing the door behind them, you find yourself trapped with the others. You've seen what they do to their prisoners, and you just let most of them escape. What will they do to you? Obviously, we will try to escape. You charge at the cultists in hopes of escape, but are quickly knocked back by a kick. You fall to the ground, ears ringing as the cultist moves towards you, producing a dagger. They push the dagger against your throat and then go to push the prisoners back into the cell. Oh no! Last life was taken, dang it. A sense of relief rushes over you as you try to take a deep breath in, but the air fails to reach your lungs as you hear a wet gurgling sound. Grasping a hand to your throat, you feel it become drenched in the warmth of your blood. You desperately try to breathe in as you collapse onto the ground. Your vision blurs as your hand falls to the side. Blood pours from your neck, intensifying with each heartbeat. The blood quickly stops pouring. You save those who were taken, but you cannot save yourself. No matter, the journey is at its end, and you have been triumphed. As promised, your fate shall be resolved, but a price will be paid, and you will become one with us when your life is at its end. Farewell to you. Close the book. Okay, what do we do? I guess we go out the door? The book bestowed vast amounts of knowledge to you as promised. With it, you built an easy and fulfilling life for yourself, ending 8 out of 9. And that took an hour and 20 minutes pretty much. Oh my god. That was good. It's not as super interactive as like Out of Gas or Santa's Workshop, but a lot of reading and my throat hurts. Anyways, guys, I was gonna try to get the other endings, but I didn't realize that was a lot of reading to do. I'm sure someone got the other endings. If not, play it for yourself and try to get different options. But yeah, this was a more chill one, kind of, sort of. And I can't wait to see what the next one is. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching. And I guess I will see you all next time in another horror cartridge collection video. Or whatever I make next. Goodbye for now.